Welcome to another episode of the Geek Out Room podcast. Don't forget you can watch our episodes over on our YouTube channel, Sauceless Entertainment. You also listen to our episodes over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just type in Geek Out Room podcast and you should find us. Today I want to talk about the weird ass AI commercials that plagued the Super Bowl this year. Let's dive in. So, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, there were a lot of ads like there are every year. Usually we get fantastic, well, not even usually. Let me step back a little bit. Years ago, I'm talking about the last time they were funny was probably Arizona Cardinals versus Pittsburgh Steelers. And that was like what, 2010 or so? I don't know, like Larry Fitzgerald and Kurt Warner was still playing. It was a long time ago. And I don't think the commercials have been funny since. All right. So then they replaced funny commercials with like clever-ish commercials. Like there was I forgot what it was. I think it was like a Blue Moon commercial like 2-3 years ago. Like no, 3-4 years ago. That was really clever. There are some, just use famous actors or actors that are hot that year or the year prior, and you put them in a commercial for a beer. Like beer is usually pretty big during the Super Bowl for obvious reasons, or Target, or like Pepsi. Like those are the bigger brands that do stuff. Doritos used to be huge. They used to make funny, innovative commercials, stuff like that. This year, we got AI slop. The amount of AI videos, or at least the amount AI was heavily incorporated into these commercials this year were sickening. And they're obviously AI commercials, and or just commercials with really bad special effects and just really not memorable commercials. And also, these commercials leaked like a week or two prior to the Super Bowl, so half these commercials weren't even a surprise. So it was disappointing. It was boring. It was predictable. It was annoying. I think they also showed like an ICE commercial to promote ICE agents and the ICE agency, either right before Bad Bunny's performance or right after. I forgot what order it was in. But poor taste, terrible. And I'm not going to lie, part of the reason for this is because of how much it costs now to do commercials in the Super Bowl. And many brands at this point do not need to spend that much money in marketing for a TV spot that'll last like anywhere between 20 to like 30-ish seconds. It doesn't do anything for you. That's why you don't see any Warner Brothers slash DCU or MCU commercials for projects they damn well need to start promoting. It's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. It's not worth to do a TV spot to tell you to go online and watch a trailer when their products are so hot now. All you have to do is just release the trailer online and everyone will stop the Super Bowl, which was for many people, I'm sure, a boring Super Bowl. Not for me, but for many, I can see it being a boring Super Bowl, especially after Bad Bunny's performance. I can see a lot of people would turn off the Super Bowl, or at least turn away from the Super Bowl to go watch the new Avengers Doomsday or Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, all right? Or another Supergirl trailer, or whatever else they have. Maybe like a Odyssey trailer, like something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's plenty of things that would have ripped people away from the Super Bowl, specifically post Bad Bunny's halftime performance. And so they can just do that. Or there's all these companies have their numerous events for their shareholders and such that they just can drop stuff then. They don't need to spend 25 mil or whatever it is this year to get a TV spot to drop something when they could just drop it on their own, and they retain all the rights and all the money that they get from all these YouTube ads and views they get from these videos. These videos average like maybe like 19 million views. Like they're just fine posting on YouTube and call it a day. Like they can tweet from their official Twitter account and IG and say, hey, full trailer on YouTube, and they'll get 19 million views by the time people wake up tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? Like they don't need the Super Bowl. So I get why they decided to skip the Super Bowl, and probably why they'll continue to skip it. Maybe not next year, because next year the Super Bowl will be airing on Disney Plus, ESPN, and Hulu TV. Because I think the Super Bowl is also in LA next year. So next year I can see them pinning a Avengers Secret Wars trailer to it, or I don't know, whatever Star Wars Project Disney, whatever the Project Disney is planning. I'm sure they're going to have a full showcase and throw hella ads and TV spots. If they're smart, they definitely will. So yeah, not many trailers. The only trailer they did show was, I think it was called Mandalorian Grogu. I stopped watching The Mandalorian after like season 2. And season 2 was even hard enough for me to get through. So, not a huge Mandalorian fan. Do not give a flying shit about the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I don't know many people who do care. Every single trailer, people forgot they even launched an already official trailer and had its theater run. People didn't care about that. People do not care about this TV spot. I just don't know what they're doing. At this point, they're treating this project better than they treated Wonder Man, but I do believe they just want to get this over with. I think that they don't believe in this project, but they know they need to push it because they've made it. It's cost them millions upon millions of dollars, and will cost them even more once the press tours have to start. And I just think they're like, we just have to give them something to get this hype. So the fact that they didn't do it for Doomsday, even though they should and they need to hype that movie up, they didn't do it for Spider-Man, they should and need to hype that up. They're just like, hey, here's Mandalorian Grogu, because Star Wars fans will eat anything we give them. Any slop we give them, they'll eat it. No. You've burned all goodwill you had with many Star Wars fans. You burned the goodwill you had with fans of the series, the Disney Plus series of The Mandalorian. Let alone this bullshit-ass movie that seems like some side quest movie that has nothing to do, has no stakes with anything and anyone in the Star Wars universe, and just doesn't seem like something that's going to matter once this movie's over. This movie feels like a closed chapter. Well, hopefully it'll be a closed chapter on this Mandalorian shit, and we can move on to the new era of Star Wars they're trying to build. Because I'm telling you right now, they ran this into the ground, and I do not care about anything that involves the Skywalker saga anymore. They've done too much. It's time to either go pre-Skywalker saga or way post-Skywalker saga, because I'm done with this. I think we're all done with this. We're all burnt out. This trailer was god-awful. Horrible marketing idea. And I can already tell how annoying this marketing run, this press run will be. And I truly feel bad for people involved. But nonetheless, I could be wrong. This could be the best Star Wars movie they've ever made. And nothing's pointing towards that. So I say all that tangent to say these movie trailers aren't coming to Super Bowl anymore. These ads and the thought behind all this marketing is not coming towards the Super Bowl anymore. So now it's just filled with all this AI slop. It's going to come to the point. The only people who are going to be able to afford Super Bowl commercials or will at least willing to justify it will be all these ICE propaganda commercials, all this Border Patrol commercials, probably the U.S. Army, Navy. Like, they'll put all that stuff in here. You didn't even see any alcohol. I don't even remember seeing any alcohol things in here, but you're going to get your Dunkin' Donuts thing as long as Ben Affleck is breathing. Even if it's AI slop, you'll still get a Dunkin' Donuts commercial as long as Ben Affleck's breathing. And medical companies. I'm sure next year you'll get a bunch of Ozempic commercials and all these weight loss drugs and cancer treatment drugs or whatever they're trying to push to you. They're going to push it. And they're going to be the only ones. Just like how, if you watch TV now, for the people who still watch TV, or at least run with ads on their Hulu, Amazon Prime, Netflix, etc., you can attest to this. It's a bunch of medicine and medical, big pharma advertisements on commercials now. That's like all that exists for commercials now. There's no fun toy commercials or video game commercial. None of that shit exists. It's just big pharma and random Christian commercials. That's all that's going to be left for the Super Bowl. It's going to just be a bunch of that. And no one wants to see that, especially during the Super Bowl. But that's all it's going to be. And it just used to be different. For those that were too young or not even born yet, commercials used to be super funny, super creative. It hosted a lot of actors that would be really silly. You're not used to seeing silly, or it'll be like comedian actors you would see, and they would be there, and it'd be super fun. I mean, there'd even be commercials like Doritos where they'll have contests for fans to go create these at-home commercials, and the best one would be picked. I think that's what Doritos did for that commercial, where that kid like built a time traveling machine and that time travel, like stuff like that is ingenious. It's fun. It's creative. It was like the world of marketing Super Bowl, right? The world of marketing advertisement. The Super Bowl was their Super Bowl as well, because the best of the best copyrights came out. The best of the best, money was just thrown. It was a great time because so many people's eyes are glued to the Super Bowl. All right, just like so many people. Trust me, you think the AI slop is bad now? We get the World Cup in less than in 6 months or so now. It's the commercials during the World Cup are going to be egregious. The commercials during the World Cup are about to be egregious in the United States of America. If you thought the Super Bowl was bad, the commercials you're about to see during the World Cup is going to be very nasty. Now, obviously, the world, like soccer, different rules. There's not commercial breaks like there is in basketball and football, but when they can fit commercials, whether it's the pre or post game shows, or that when they do go to half, those commercials are going to be egregious because there's going to be a lot fewer of them. So they're going to really try to fit those in. And it's going to be egregious, man. Olympics in LA in 2028 is about to be egregious. These AI videos are nasty. I'm very anti-AI when it comes to like how it's being used, especially. But the biggest problem with these AI commercials is that it just like that Dunkin' Donuts commercial could have been really fun and really creative if they just got all those actors that are in that commercial, if I'm not mistaken, are all alive and healthy and could have just played their real selves. You didn't have to do what you did. You didn't have to do that. And honestly, it's a real shame that those actors allowed this to happen or even participate in this or whatever the case may be. It was a gross commercial, dude. All those characters are really beloved to me, and it made me hate every single one of them. It really did. Not only the actor, but also the character. Like I hate that, and I don't want that to be the future of commercials and reboots. For there just to be a bunch of AI to de-age people to keep series or running gags on for way longer than it should be. All right, because you think you're tired of sequels and remakes now. If we allow them to use AI the way they have been and will, we're gonna get much more. You think you're tired of seeing the Skywalker saga? You're about to see 5 seasons of a Disney Plus show called Luke Skywalker and Friends, where it's just an AI de-aged Luke Skywalker running around doing random shit. They will do it. They will freaking do it, man. They'll de-age Harrison Ford. They'll do whatever they gotta do. They're gonna do it. And man, these commercials suck. They're lifeless and suck. Some of them hate it, the commercials, simply because they hate AI. So it's always FAI to them. I'm with that, but also from the artistic and creative standpoint, these ads are silly and they're dumb. And I don't like the future of ads because the next thing they're going to also do too is going to get a bunch of influencers to be in every single ad. You're going to see Speed, you're going to see Kai, you're going to see. I remember Pro Bowl week. I didn't even pay attention. Not even Pro Bowl weekend, Pro Bowl week or whatever they did, which that needs to go too. That's a whole different story. They use I forgot Kai's friend. I think his name is Ray or something. I don't watch streamers. I just know some of these guys because of they're so big. You can't go online without seeing these guys. But I see influencers everywhere, popping up at events I just really feel like they shouldn't be at, and asking really dumb, offensive, or like just doing stupid stuff. The Drewski thing at the award show was really unprofessional and rude. Yet early in the season, I think it was Chiefs versus the Kansas City Chiefs versus either the Packers or Eagles, or they're facing somebody, and it was in Brazil, I think, and like they had I think it was on a YouTube exclusive game, and they have Mr. Beast doing something at halftime or something, and it was the worst product I've ever seen in my life. But that's the future. And the future is just bleak. It really is just bleak, because everything is a cash grab. Not that it wasn't like that before, but man, people they used to be competition, and you used to to be memorable, because the whole point of these commercials, you want to be memorable. You want people for decades to talk about that commercial. Also, the funnier the ad, the more memorable the ad, the more people would relate, trust your brand, go out there and buy your brand. Hey, you want to be the beer that sponsors Kyle Anna's annual Super Bowl party? Well, you better have a memorable ad, because next year when they go on their beer run for their party, what beer do you think they're going to get? They're going to get that beer that was part of that commercial from last Super Bowl that was super funny. And guess what? If your Super Bowl commercial is super memorable and funny, you don't even have to have another commercial for the rest of the year, because you already established brand. But also, that commercial's all you needed. It's all you needed. Now it's different. And also, let's not forget about sports betting. We're going to get a different video about that and Giannis' situation and many other athletes. That's a whole different video. But that's another thing you're going to start seeing. I mean, you're going to, because, when Disney, and Warner Brothers, and all these other studios take their movies and trailers, these big draws, and all those advertisement dollars out, someone needs to fill that void. And it's going to be sports books. It's going to be prediction markets commercials. It's going to be AI stuff. It's going to be ChatGPT. It's going to be a lot of just nonsense, man. And it's eliminating the human aspect. And you can tell, because these commercials freaking suck. They're lifeless. They're eyesores. And it's because they're missing the human element. And no matter how much you train AI or want it to be, there is not going to be able to copy that human touch. It'll be able to do human work eventually, and probably at a high level for many other things. But when it comes to creativity, when it comes to a creative product, it can't match the human touch, because it's not human. And these commercials suck, and they're not going to be memorable. The only reason people are going to be talking about it today is because it was god awful, and it proves a lot of people's points. But in like 2 weeks, people are not going to remember these commercials. They're not going to remember the brands of these commercials. They're not going to remember the actors who were part of these commercials, except that dumbass Dunkin' Donuts or whatever the fuck. I don't even remember what Dunkin' Donuts, man. It was such an eyesore and sucked. I saw Carlton Banks. Like, oh, man. Just AI slop. That Coinbase commercial pissed me off to no regard. That NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, I don't even remember. I keep getting those boy bands mixed up. That T-Mobile commercial was fun until it wasn't. I mean, it was really bad this year. Like, really bad. Like, I went on Instagram Reels. I went on Twitter. Like, I went anywhere else besides I muted the ads, dude. I had enough. It was really bad. Really, really bad and annoying. And I'm just not liking the future, man. And again, as much as I hate like these studios pulling out of the Super Bowl, I get it from a financial sense, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I think there's a great relationship between the NFL and these studios for studios to premiere a world premiere on Super Bowl week. I feel like stuff like that garners even more eyes. So I think the NFL, I mean, people are still willing to pay it. Why lower the price? But I do feel like, hey, if you're willing to premiere a like never before seen trailer for something, we can give you some kind of discount or something. Like we need some type to inject some type of life and human touch into these commercials again. They're just so god awful. They're so god awful, dude. Like they're not good. They're not good. They're not engaging. They're not entertaining. I forgot half the commercials. There was one commercial that was mad racist. I don't know where that came from, why that was in there. It was just a bunch of nonsense. It wasn't fun. The Super Bowl used to be an experience. Not only did you get the actual game, but you had so much byproduct with it. You got a great halftime performance. You get great commercials, whether they're funny, creative, or entertaining. You got some kind of fun commercials. I don't even remember what commercials aired last year. It just feels the same slop. It feels like they try to make this running gag with Ben Affleck that just isn't funny, is really annoying, and I'm really disappointed in him for this one. If he had any part in this, I'm very disappointed because that shit fucking sucked. And I never want to see that bullshit again. I'm very serious. I never want to see that bullshit again. Like, fuck this, dude. Pepsi's commercial was annoying. Like, there's so many annoying ass commercials that I just hated. Hate. The creativity was dumb. Just too much nonsense, man. Hate it. But that's the world we're in right now. So we're going to see. I hope it gets better because I just miss the creativity. Like competition and just, it just used to breed so much creativity by force and employed people. And not just competition, but there's other reasons to it, but that's just the one that comes to mind right now. But there used to be a fuck to give about putting good product out there. Now no one cares, and they're just trying to cut money any way they can, and it's just we're all suffering from it. And I can't tell you to boycott the Super Bowl. That's never worked in the history of doing this, right? But we have to fight back somehow and be like, enough's enough. Like, fuck this. Maybe if it's just like, hey, there's a record of people turning off the TV or changing the channel to something else because this AI commercial shit is absolutely annoying. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, man. But come below, let me know your thoughts on this year's Super Bowl commercials, the future Super Bowl commercials, the future advertising and AI in general. Because it's not going to just be here. It's going to be a bunch of AI, social media commercials. It's going to be really bad. And I'm just not looking forward to it, man. I do think we're in trouble. We really are in trouble. See you on the next episode. Keep geeking out. Peace.